Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge and thanks everyone who has made today possible. The parents, godparents, family members, friends, and everyone who has struggled here so far to be here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome our celebrant, Jeremiah, with his mother and father, William Nemik, and of course, Isa Uyod Nemik. Yes, nakalimutan ko. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Sandapin ko yung holong parabelen. Ayan, congratulations and happy birthday. Kasi natapos na yung At this point of time, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome us, to welcome the guests, to welcome the family, Michael and the father of celebrant, Mr. William Nemik, for welcome address. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Believe me, just watch.
Hello. Say, I'm not this way of thinking until I got Alicia here, so we're going to do my best job here. Anyway, I'm very, very grateful for the love that a family has in the Tivoli people. I am very impressed, and it's uplifting because many places in the world they don't have. And so I would like to thank you very, very much. And I think about all the people that have helped all through the time, and I'm very, very grateful for everyone. And I'm going to tell you, I have a very special mother-in-law. And she's been a very big blessing to this and putting up with me because I'm probably not the easiest one. So anyway, and I am very thankful my son's birthday. But I want to say that I'm very grateful that we have a baby and a birthday. But I'm grateful for two other children. And you need to see there's a Jeff and a Fritzy here. And I'm very proud of them. And they make my life complete. And I am very honored that I can be their papa. And so anyway, I thank you, and I thank the idea that you have with godparents and the blessing that that makes. That's amazing to me, and it's very, I wish other places in the world that are losing their culture could bring it back. And because it's very, very beautiful, and this building is very pretty. And again, thank you everyone for so much help. And I want to tell you, in America, I'm a Protestant, and here I go to the Catholic Church a very long time too. And I meet a man, and I'm very, very honored he's here. And this is the father of our church. And I'm very happy that he's here because to me, in my heart, he's a very loving man and loving everybody. So anyway, and I would like to thank you, and I'm going to let my wife say some ideas that she thinks is funny.
Yêu con đau khổ và cái đề bayu selamat bakui koko beni mana mak komang bayu mana mak kuyo berdang with gift alam lo bayu mokos ku beni dengan kan lenga baikun bayu tu celebrate Jeremiah so nana no dok miyu koko selamat.
Ayan, thank you very much, Alisa, tama ba ko? And of course, Sir William, thank you very much. To extend welcome to everyone, your presence is here is a testament to love and support you have for Jeremiah's birthday today. Maraming salamat. Happy birthday to you. Birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jeremiah. Ayan.
again. This is William with my channel KL2PQ, anyway, in exile in Southeast Asia. Anyway, those of you that's never seen this channel before, I'm an Alaskan farmer homesteader, and I am really in exile. I lost my farm and had many political struggles in Alaska, and I'm fighting to get my farm back. And this video, this way of being on the video is a lot different than anything you'll see, because this is real, and this is real life situation. And those who have never seen this channel before, I have came back to Mindanao 3 times now from Alaska, trying to get my farm back. There's a lot of bad politics in Alaska. I've had a couple of friends. One friend was murdered, and I am a very strong believer. I have a Mennonite background, and I'm trying really hard to go back home and get my farm. And that's what this channel is about. I'm a ham radio. I have an extra license. I build radios, and I build farm machinery and farm equipment. And I love Alaska, and I'm a 5th generation homesteader, at least. I don't know the other ones. And then anyway, I'm doing the best I can to go home. Now, there's many things I spoke about in channels before this one, and I have a little bit slurry voice because I'm suffering from Havana syndrome. If you can look that up online, be careful what you believe on the internet, because it's very real. And the reason that it's not talked about and diagnosed very well on the radio is that American politicians are using it. American political powers also, so they don't want to go after another country or Cuba or anything, because it's being used. It got caught being used in England, and it went into court and parliament. So anyway, it isn't nothing to do with my channel. It's just trying to explain some of my speech impediment. Anyway, I am in the city now, away from the mountain, a little town, away from the mountain where I live, and I'm by a lake. Now in this lake here, they raise fish and they sell it. They have it in big fish pens. It's called tilapia, and it's the major market for this whole area, this lake. And it's a very good fish, and it's one of the biggest commerce besides raising corn and rice in the area. And a lot of the work is all done by hand. And if you can see down there, there's fish pens. And I have, anyway, that's the idea. Now, anyway, very pretty down there. I'm getting prepared to go back to Alaska again, and it's very hard for me. And this is an up close and personal video. I'm going to go back, but I want to explain more about me on a personal level you don't know. I have been back here 3 times, and have 3 Tamale children. What happened was, in the beginning, was I got one boy. I went and stayed at a farm, and the one boy is dying, and I had a really hard time saving him, and then I got him in the hospital twice, and then anyway, now I'm his father. And then I end up with 2 more, so I got 3 children, Tamale, and I'm a Christian, so I know I'm older, but they would have no chance without me. So anyway, I'm trying to get them back to Alaska on my farm, same time I'm trying to get back my farm, so it's getting very, very difficult that way. Anyway, I want to tell you that I've had a really hard life the last few years. You know, I'm a 2-cylinder John Deere tractor farmer. I never expected to be in Southeast Asia and fighting the whole cotton picking world. But I'm going to tell you, the Utah politicians moved into my town of Nenana and took everything. And then and the state government has got a special interest group that is so powerful they violate the rule of public law constantly. They weaponize the government, and I'm a person, evidently, my whole way of life is going to be serving God and doing the best that I can, doing the right thing of what I'm doing. And so here I am, and there's somebody else here I want you to see, so just a minute. And I got to show you somebody brand new. Come here. This guy here, you see this guy? This guy, he's a... Look in the camera there. This guy here, I have custody of this little boy, and he needs to go back to Alaska with me.
And the next one.
And he's very nice. Now wait a minute, one more thing is coming. I got this one too, and there's one more missing. There's a little boy that's not here right now. His name is Jeff. This is Fritzy.
Yes.
Now see, these kids, they need to go to Alaska with me, all I got, and we're going to farm together. And I'm older, being a papa all over again, but you know, the Holy Father, he opens the trail and you got to follow it. So here I am, and anyway, he's a very handsome fella. Anyway, I just wanted you to meet them. Now, I don't advertise very much because here they're in very much danger. I'm always scared because you can go, take him.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay.
Bye.
Anyway, I'm kind of careful and leery of talking about them because here they've been grabbing kids and killing them, selling the body parts, and they've been killing foreigners. And then they also fight with the communist rebels sometimes. So being white, being here, I get many warnings from the embassy, but I'm here. So I'm not going to elaborate too much on these children, but I'm the father now, and I want to take them with me and farm in Alaska again at my farm. Now, Alaska farming is only 3 months a season. Now, to go back and kind of jump around with everything, because I'm not Hollywood and I'm not Clint Eastwood or nothing. So, anyway, I want to tell you that in Alaska, I got back my combine and my tractor, one of my farm trucks, and I got my hay bine, and I got my... I have an old tractor I'm restoring, a D John Deere. It's old, never touched. I need it because I lost everything, and it would be very handy also. Because I have a hammer mill and I have a whole system of making fuel from canola oil. And I have that all back now. And my friends have helped me in Alaska. They found my truck in Anchorage and I got it back. And many of my friends that bought my equipment are giving it back to me and keeping it until I get back on my farm. I have many volunteers. If I get back on my land, they're going to help me get back in business. Now, farming in Alaska is very, very difficult. And my last crop, I have a $10,000 hay crop. I never got paid because the politicians make a deal with the man that owes me the money, and I didn't get it. And then I tried to take him to court, and then I tried to make him pay. And anyway, got such an extreme threat, and the state's involved, that I ended up working with the FBI, and they wouldn't help me at all. And so the problem with the law, if you understand the law, then they really after you because they know that they have to be accountable. So it's been very, very difficult. I did 2 terms in office. I ran for governor, I ran for his Congress, and I ran for the Senate. And anyway, I just want to tell you in the beginning of the movie what it's all about and why, because you might not have ever seen this channel before. Now, I want to go back. Now, I'm a strong believer, and I've always been kind of a, I'm in the woods farmer. But when I go back this time, I'm going to go back, and the big thing that's going on with the people of the Utah politicians is they're very, very aggressive, very diabolical, and they take the Bible principles and twist them into the craziest story you ever heard. And I'm coming back, I'm going to go right to the town of Nenana, and I don't have any other recourses anymore. I tried to make the government work. I've been back 3 times. I built a new business, and the Superior Court has weaponized itself and shut me down and destroyed it illegally. So this time I'm going back the 3rd time, but I'm preaching. I'm going to go back and preaching with the Bible in the town of Nenana and all over, because they have this strong hang-on of diabolical wish for power
This Utah politician is very aggressive, and he's the Bible talks about the gifts of the Spirit. You know, and the Bible talks about love and to have charity, and to have so many things to recognize how you recognize a Christian person. And it's definitely not aggressive to take somebody's farm or hurt somebody or to have power or to conquer. That's not how it works. So when I get back, I'm going to reach them, and I'm making this video because I want them to see the video, because I believe that if something is really bad in front of you and you have to take it on, you don't hide around the corner. You stand right up to it and say, right now we're going to do the best we can to make everything good and to have the truth and to show God's love. So I'm coming back. It's taken a long time for me to get in a situation to where I can do what I'm going to do now and make it happen. Now, those of you watching me building the radios, I have had trouble getting some parts. Now, the one thing that I was doing, I was building a tool to be able to put out a frequency and then put it in a tank circuit, and then see another one to monitor the frequency coming out. And then I was using some test equipment so you could see when you build a tank circuit how it's working, and then keep everything is all in one unit. So you can, it's not oscilloscope. So you can see it's simple and it's cheaper to make. And when I got all this going, some of the components I got from China, I'm having a little bit of problems with. And so, anyway, my signal generator is not working right, and it shows the frequency, but it's not producing anything. And I have another one in the U.S., and I need to get it. So my plan is, no matter how I get with this circuit that I'm trying to show for regen, 12 volt, I want to duplicate it in America and keep on going. The frame and the chassis a little bit different, but the wiring and the whole components will otherwise be the same. So I'll develop on this one all I can, and then the other one. The plan is to show everybody simply how to develop tank circuits and how to receive, how to understand how to build your own radio, and how to understand how to make a circuit work with tubes. Now, I believe in the 12 volts and tubes. 12 AU7 is an amazing tube. And then after that, we'll have an amplifier stage. And my idea is, in the end, to have a single sideband and to cut in another low voltage. And that's going to do with the Franklin oscillator. And I got this worked out, and I will try to show. But what I want to do eventually is make a system where anybody can build it on and understand the frequency, how it's coming in, and understand how it's coming out, and how the tank circuit can be manipulated and adjusted. So, for instance, if you want to be wide or narrow by how you want to tune it, that's really, really important. So we can change that. And I have a band switch in the circuit, and we can change different frequencies. And so anyway, the idea is very simple, and look at many of the other people on YouTube. Please get a good understanding of them, because they're very excellent, better than me. And but I believe, like I'm building a farm and I build my tractors or anything, I want it simple for you to understand how to build a tube circuit. And I'm going to get back off of this subject now, because I am in exile, and that's why I'm here. So I want to explain a little bit farther where I'm at now. I'm going, when I go back, I have a 1967 International truck that has been gone through already, and I got to do a little bit of work on it, and then I got to try to find a way to build a new company or something. Now, last time I was there, the Superior Court attacked my contract. So anyway, before I got to Superior Court, I went to lower court and won. Well, they seen that they could override me, so they went to Superior Court and disconnected the all of the instructions from the lower court judge, so we had no authority. And then they took, and I tried to do a 100% buyout because the government got involved with the other contractor. And so I had a 100% buyout, 100%. The judge seen that and he said to them, you can't refuse Mr. Nimick because he has a 100% buyout of the whole contract. You're winning everything and he's losing everything and he's buying it out. And then they still, anyway, sorry, we have a company on the highway. Anyway, I'm going to go in the building now and do some more explanation, but I want to show you, I'm in a little town out of the mountains from where I live. And I wanted you to see the lake and how some people live. And anyway, in the mountains here, everybody's still farming with horses and carabao. And it's much like Vietnam, but a little bit different. Actually, the weather here is harsher, if you could believe that. Anyway, I'm going to go back inside, but I want to tell you that the third time I'm going back now, I tried every mechanism I could to build a new government. My bank was trying to help me, and I was trying to buy my farm back. I had to hire a private investigator, if you've heard in the other movies, to find out who had it. My title was in the lower 48. I went down there. Anyway, I've exposed so much. Criminal activity, that's what I call it. So much of dishonest court, weaponized court, absolutely 100% weaponized, and the police. And so my friends in Alaska retired. My friends in Alaska and retired state troopers, which are good friends of mine, they're telling me not to come back. And I've been told not to go home, but I'm coming back because I'm not going to run away from nothing. Anyway, I know this channel might be a little hard to absorb. I don't know how it's going to go, but it's America is having a lot of problems, and my opinion is I want to be a farmer and be left alone, but all these things dumped on me, and I'm going to fight them back off. Anyway, I'm going to go in the building now where there's a light, so it's getting dark here. But I wanted you to just kind of see the atmosphere here, what it's like, and the lake, and how they kind of live here. And I'll see you in a little bit quick. Hello again. I just wanted to show you something really special. I'm in the house, but you see this guy sleeping? He makes a good Alaskan. Anyway, he's a very good boy, and he makes me very happy. Anyway, we have his christening. He's have the christening done. Anyway, and I'm gonna, when I can get my farm back, he's coming with me back out to my house. Anyway, I just want to show you something I'm very proud of. God gave me a major miracle here. Anyway, let's go back to something else here in a few minutes. Anyway, thank you. Okay, turn it. Hello again, I'm back in the house now, and I just want you to see something. These people here, my children, this is aunts and uncles. See them? Anyway, we're going to have a conversation in their house. Anyway, I just want you to see how this is in a town, not in a farm. Anyway, he has a new house and he's just finishing it very nice. The house is all cement. And so anyway, he's anyway, we're here discussing what I'm going to do when I go back to the U.S. Anyway, I wanted to tell you something. When I went back the last time, I ran for the time before last, I ran for governor, then I had to leave quick. A very long story. Anyway, a contractor helped me get out. Anyway, I went and come back again, and I had built a business there the second time to try to get my farm back with the bank. And of course, I told you in the other movie, the government got involved, and they started working outside the courtroom with the person that I had the contract with, and things went very bad. And I lost my D5 cat loader and my money I had invested. But I had a contract to where one side of the highway had to have a bunch of work done and cleaning up, and a house fixed, and the other side of the highway was a contract on trade. The trade was when I got equity in the other piece of land, I would have, the bank was going to have money to cash out, find my farm and cash buy me out on credit. And we had it all worked out. The bank's been very good to me, and they broke my contract. The government got involved again, And what happened was, I won in court. And so they bumped me up to the next court because they weren't satisfied with me winning because I buy out my contract 100%. I took a loss because they cheated my contract and 100% bought it out because all I needed was the title from my bank to give me credit and try to hunt down my farm. So when I got that all going that way, then the other person in the contract got involved with the political enemies that I have. You know, the enemies are very simple to understand. I don't believe in conspiracy theories and that kind of crap. It's all not true. What they are is a Utah politician and a socialist globalist become one political body in Alaska. Because in Alaska we had the Libertarian Party, which is ruling the state for quite a few years, and then they got busted up by other politicians of special interest because libertarians believe in freedom, and about Alaska, Bush has freedom. So then we had Alaska Independence Party, and then they went after it again, and now the government is so corrupt because the government now is keeping personal files on everybody that's opposed to them. They have personnel files. Now in Mississippi they got caught doing that until the 1970s. The President of the United States made a ruling and cleaned it up quick. But in Alaska, they keep very, when I was in Superior Court, they ruled directly against me, such crazy rulings, unwarranted, unconstitutional, it's unbelievable. I don't want to waste the whole channel trying to explain that all the time because they did so many things to me in the 35 years that it's, most people would not believe it. They'd want to make a motion picture. Anyway, what I'm trying to do is get back home and clean ever up. I'm going to tell you though, I mentioned it in the last short part of the movie, the Utah politician and the special interest, they all have one thing in common. None of them believe in the rule of law, and they don't have faith in God, because if they do that, they would want to uphold the rule of law, and the Constitution is Bible-based. So anyway, when I go back this time, I've been very much told I can't come back. I'm going to preach. Now, I'm a farmer, and I want to have a simple life, but the burden is laid out there in front of me, and the truth is out there in front of me. And years and years ago, I went to college in Utah, Weber State College, and I dropped out of college because a man was murdered named John Singer. Now, I'm telling you this because it's up close and personal now. I'm coming back to fight. I'm fighting non-violent, but I'm coming back to fight. The enemy's there, but the enemy's not people. God says to judge the sin, not the person. So I'm coming back there judging sin, fighting for people to have salvation. Anyway, many years ago, they kind of got me on the wrong side of the fence, anywhere I was. I was going to Weber State College in Utah, and a man named John Singer, he decided, he got much controversy because in his faith, in his religious belief, he said you can't change. And so the leader of their religious organization, his name was Spencer Kimball, he said that they changed the whole rule of their belief, and they say black people are no longer bad, they're forgiven. And they used to say that in this belief that babies or spirits are born, and when you're born black, you're being punished. Well, they changed all of that because the federal government got involved, and so this leader, Spencer Kimball, says, hey, you all are equal, and God has changed, and now black people are forgiven, and they can be members of their organization. So what happened was this farmer, he's a very stubborn, old-fashioned German, a real German actually, and he said, no, God doesn't change. If you're going to have a lie or the truth, he said, I'm not changing. So he got in national media, national news, because he would not, he said they couldn't change that way because otherwise his belief was a lie. And so it got very, very bad. Now I'm going to college, I'm an A student in Weber State, and I'm on the dean's list, and I go to only one meeting, and this was a fatal one for me. Anyway, in the meeting, they're bragging about this incident that happened. Well, they said in the meeting that a judge worked with the sheriff, and the judge is the leader in their organization, And he said he's told to get rid of John Singer. Well, what happened was in real life, John Singer's wife is scared about him because he's very publicly recognized. And so he won't leave his land anymore. He wanted peace. He didn't want any trouble. So he told everybody, I'm not leaving my farm. So anyway, he went to get the mail out of his mailbox. His wife was watching in the binoculars, and when he turned around to leave, the police officer murdered him, and all was covered up. So anyway, when I heard this in the meeting, and I'm a veteran, a hothead veteran, I got out of the Army pretty upset because I wanted a career in the military, and Gerald Ford, he changed my mind quick, and I got out. I was going to become an officer. So I'm pretty upset because I loved the Army, but I wasn't going to go be a soldier under a system that would lie about a whole war and about a whole annihilation of people. So I ETS'd, it was my time up, and I was going to go to Fort Lewis, Washington to RA school, and then I got out and I started going to college in this Weber State. Well, I'm telling you what happened. I jumped up, I'm a hothead at that time, I'm a young fella, I'm a young 20 years old. And then, I went in the Army at 17, I was sergeant when I got out, and I'm 20 years old and I'm already out. And I'm gonna go to Fort Lewis, Washington. I went in the Army without a high school education. The Army, I got my stripes, the captain said, you like that or not? And I went in there, and one morning he says, if you want to stay, you're gonna have to go to school in the morning, or 700. He didn't ask me or nothing, he told me. So I started going to school, I graduated high school, and I started trying to go to college. And then I was changing my GT score, and I was going to become an officer to go to Fort Lewis, Washington. But then when Gerald Ford lied about what happened when we pulled out of Vietnam, I got out. And the same thing happened like Afghanistan, except much worse. Anyway, I don't want to get into all that, but it was, and I was upset. So I'm going to college anyway, and I'm in this meeting with all these higher class, uppity up students, and then, it's kind of like the skull and crossbones of Harvard. Anyway, they brag about this thing, and I listened to them, and I says, you guys are crazy. I'm upset, you know. And I said, you think Jesus, to protect something and protect his church, would have you commit a murder? I says, you got to be crazy people. I said, Jesus wouldn't ever tell anybody to commit a murder and protect the church. I said, the church is the belief in Christ itself. And I'm mad, and then I didn't even sign out of college. I just let my grades fall, and I just moved out and took off, and I was into that, and I come to Alaska. And I tell you what, I had a friend up here. He was from Arctic Village, and he was in my squad, and his name was David Albert. He's gone now, but he was my best friend, and I am glad that I went to Alaska, and I met David again, and anyway, he's gone now, but if he wouldn't have been my friend in the Army, I probably wouldn't be here now. And I miss him. Anyway, back to the subject of, I'm not a Hollywood actor or cotton picking thing like that, but I tell you what, I love my farm. I'm a small farmer, and for many generations anyway. So anyway, I'm back here in Southeast Asia trying to go back and trying to explain to you all these things. But I want to tell you something. In this life, if you back up and don't do something you think you should have done, then later on it's going to come back and bite you. And I am having a really hard struggle now. I'm 69 years old, but I'm not a bot to back off and give up on something when I thought that there was a challenge out there in which I had to meet something and make it right. Love is responsibility, and being an American citizen is a responsibility. And I'm a patriot. I'm a veteran. I love the Lord, and I love the rule of law. This is the thing that makes it really hard for me. When I was in public office in Alaska, you would not believe the trouble I had. I couldn't use the Assembly's organization. I was a borough assemblyman. I had to get my own attorney because he was so corrupt. He was the enemy, and so I cleaned up many things in politics. I did 6 years. And then I said, oh boy, I'm going to run for Congress because this is out of control. And it got worse and worse and worse. So finally, I made so many enemies, it'd be a mile long. Anyway, this is the point. I want my farm back in Alaska, and I'm going to fight to get it, and I'm going to need help from the general public. That's why I make this channel. I'm going to have to come up with some funding because I went back 3 times and I took my money and built a new company. And back to where I was at with that one, the idea was clean up a whole long property. I had 17 truckloads of junk I had to move. And all my friends knew I was trying to get my farm back, so they were helping me. So we got many, many hours. We get this big property all cleaned up. I mean, it was just, nobody would even want to touch this. You would not believe how bad it was. Big area. So we get all this cleaned up, and then I bring in my own track loader. And then I got that done, and much hand labor. And then after all this is done, then the person I have the contract with won't talk to me anymore. It's acting very strange and just avoiding me, so I can't finish my contract. So I stay there through the winter because the furnaces in the building that I was part of my contract to fix, I fixed the boiler over and over. I'm afraid you're gonna bust all the pipes. So even against the will, without any communication, I stay there like almost a year later, trying to protect it, because how this property came about was a man that owned it was one of my good friends for like 30 years. And the last time I was here in the Philippines before, when I was coming back, I got a hold of, and I called a certain person, which I can't say their name because of YouTube laws, but I called this person and I said, look, the father there, he was my best friend, and I want to get that property. What can I do to work it out? And when they came back, they met with me, and we walked around, and I was supposed to get the property on one side of the road for cleaning up the property on the other side and getting the house livable. And so I did all of that, and then they turned on me. And it got really, really bad, and I wrote the contract myself, and it was very well written. Even the judge thought it was well written. Anyway, when I got into court, they tried to evict me, but they went to the wrong process to the wrong court, because they thought that I would be scared and intimidated and just leave. Well, they didn't know it, but I took my contract and I registered it with the state. I filed it in the state recorder's office because I know the law. So that, but after I had that, anyway, after I had that, we got shut off. Somebody's at the door. Anyway, okay. Sorry for interruption, we got many children here. Anyway, so after I got that done, then they were surprised that I knew how to file it with the state, and I had it all done the right process, and the state have it recorded in the recorder's office. So then I take that paperwork to the recorder's office. But you see, when all this is happening to me, they have an illegal list called conflict of interest list. If you're fighting with the state, no lawyers can take your account. Now this sounds crazy to you, but it's true. A lawyer cannot defend you, but it's not written in law or anything. There's a list that goes to all the lawyers. If you're on the conflict of interest, they will not defend you. Well, I'm on that list already trying to get my farm back. And so that's how I got into more and more trouble. Now, the idea of this video is I can explain these things that happened to me a mile long. There's so many drastic bad things and attempts on me. Attempts, real attempts. I have 3 felony charges I can press. Anyway, well, let me tell you what they are. One would be attempted murder, and one would be a conspiracy of murder, and the other would be grand theft. Now, I haven't done that yet, but I'm mad, and my Mennonite background is to be docile, to be quiet, not to do anything. I'm coming back fighting this time. And I'm coming back praying, and then I'm gonna do the best that I can. I'm gonna be with honor and integrity. I'm not gonna hate anybody. I'm going to Nenana, and I'm gonna preach the Bible where these people are. They're building a new building, and they're getting very powerful, and they're controlling everything. The checks and balances system is a theocracy-controlled idea. Now, I speak kind of crazy words because I'm on YouTube, and YouTube has rules, and they're okay. I don't see anything wrong with that because YouTube doesn't want you to attack something and make it to where it's kind of a hate message or something like that. And I'm never going to do that because God loves everybody. He loves the bad people, the good people. You know what he says in the scripture? Forgive 7 times 70. So I'm coming back fighting for my land. At the same time, I'm going to preach the gospel, and I'm going to tell people how to get saved. Now, I'm a farmer that's kind of wanting to stay home on my tractor, but I'm not going to get anything done if I don't stand ahead and do the good thing. The Bible says in it that the evil is there if good men do nothing. Well, nobody's going there and doing anything in the same way when it's in public office. They don't uphold the law or the Constitution very much, and this is what got me in trouble. Anyway, this video is going to come to an end now, but I talk a lot about politics. But look, I'm trying to get you, the general public, if you're a small farmer or a ham radio builder, or like me, you know, I'd like to build my machinery. I'm a common guy. I like to work with my hands. I don't care really a lot for politicians. I've been in office, but my way of life is not telling somebody else how to live. It's to stay home, plant a crop, burn a lot of 70-18 rod, and to build radios, the tubes. And I know I don't want that way of life, but my life is in jeopardy. I've lost everything. I'm under a threat, and you know what I think? It's like when I was a soldier. It's can do and stand up to the enemy and get her done. You know, the drill sergeant, he told me, when you're in trouble, it's lock and load, rock and roll. And the thing of it is I believe that that's what I'm going to have to do at this time. So on this YouTube channel, I'm going to show maybe a couple more spots in Southeast Asia, but I'm getting ready to go back to Alaska. And there you'll see many videos, because I got my machinery and trying to fix up. I can't go to my farm, but I can get somebody else to go there. If I go to my farm, it's a long story, but it's going to be bad news. And they already put out a false warrant for my arrest. When I was running for governor, a time and a half back when I came there, I ran for governor, they put out, you couldn't believe this, they put out a warrant, and I couldn't figure out why. I explained it in another video. But I have opened up the biggest can of worms you ever seen in your life, and not intentional, but I'm not going to stand there and run away. And I know all the Mennonite people want me to quit, but no. You know what I think? I think to be a free person, you gotta be in freedom. You gotta believe in freedom. And the freedom only comes from God, and it's not by being mean or wanting political power. And so I'm getting ready to go back, and I'm in somebody else's house, and I just wanted to see what it's like. And like I told you before, the aunt and uncle of these children I have was here, and I can't say very much more. I got to be kind of careful because I put people in danger, and I don't have their permission for some ideas, so I have to, you know, be a gentleman. Anyway, I thank you for this time, and I'm going to close for now, but I'm going to show on my YouTube channel pretty quick how I can get some funding now. I've been blocked many times, and I've been hacked many times in the bank account. I'm going to tell you, I've been hacked so many times in my bank. They give me 5 credit cards, and they had to tear them all up. And finally, the bank found a way in bank security's involved, and I got a way to make my account work without being cut into, which was very difficult. And I want to tell you something, in Alaska we have many banks, and Mount McKinley Bank is a really good bank. Unbelievable how hard they try to help me, and they're good people. And so if you're an Alaskan and you need a bank account, these guys are really good, and they're honest, and they're caring, and they're very good businessmen. Anyway, Mount McKinley Bank in Alaska, if you're an Alaskan seeing this, that's a good place to go. They're owned there. They're not owned outside. Anyway, and I thank you, and God bless everybody, and thank you for this time right now for this video. And I'll tell you the word is amen. Thank you. Bye.